If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Girl You Know What Podcast Season 6, Episode 7. I am Danielle.
And I'm Keisha.
And yeah, we took last week off, just scheduling conflicts, so it's going to happen every now and then.
We have lives.
Yeah, so
really active lives.
Yeah, so what's going on with you?
Nothing.
Right.
My grandmother turns 85 tomorrow.
Hallelujah.
God is good.
Yes.
He is yet preserving life, honey.
Yes.
So.
And that's what I forget that their birthdays are so close because my grandmother last Sunday, she turned 87.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
honey.
Yeah, I forget their birthdays are real close. So.
Yes, honey. This one is going to be 85 and still talking crazy.
Listen.
Calling me in the middle of the night like,
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you something.
Yes.
I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
Right.
Now, where are my teeth at?
Yeah.
Lady, listen.
It's like you there, for one.
Put them up. They're put up. I'll never tell her where they are. They put up.
Right.
Well, I'm just wondering where they at. You don't need them because you're going to bed.
Exactly.
Go to sleep.
Right.
And when you wake up in the morning, we'll pop them in.
She had questions. It was something on her mind she had to know before she rested.
I just want to know where they is.
That's it.
I guess I left them over at the house. I said, you didn't leave them anywhere because you ain't been nowhere.
Right.
Baby, if you don't do anything else, you have to laugh.
Yeah, for real.
You have to, and I have to make her laugh.
Yeah.
Because they be so anxious and they be so worried about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you have to have a sense of humor.
You do. If not,
you can't treat everything like it's super serious because it makes her, she can feel that tension.
Mm-hmm.
She feels it. And so when I'm like, and she just cracks up laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you got Mister's food ready? I'd be like, no, I didn't. I don't. What do you think this is?
Right.
She be like, I raised you better than that. Girl,
first of all,
be hungry.
Not the like
like she's disgusted.
Disgusted with you.
Girl, please. So happy birthday to the matriarchs of our family.
Yes, happy birthday, Nana.
Yeah, so that means we missed your grandmother's birthday last week. Yeah,
that's all right.
Happy birthday.
Yes, ma'am. I will let her know.
Yes.
So
we had an interesting week.
Yes, as
last
usual.
Last week in politics,
Mm-hmm.
Just the regular shenanigans of living in America. And
here we go.
It was a little tame this week, but I would like to. Let me put this on my list because we gonna just jump right in because
please do,
honey.
Because we got some pop culture at the end that I need to gather somebody. So
because I'm sick of people, so I have a little running list, and I think most of my stuff is like news related.
Okay.
So the first thing last week that we missed were the leaked military plans. Oh my God, where are we at? Where are we?
I mean, what can you say? It's just like, first of all, Is it shocking because of who you have in this position? Number one, is it
Because this
really
what I want to
shocking?
know. So this app that they say that they're that in itself is
That's
like
right there is an issue.
insanity. Because I thought any wartime decisions, why aren't y'all in the situation
That
room?
part right there. Because they don't think they have to follow any rules,
Oh my
any
God.
protocol, anything like that. So
We
you,
have we have reached a part in life, when people are always screaming about, oh, checks and balances, checks and balances.
mm-mm,
Now the people who are doing the checks and balances are the same people who are being checked and balanced.
exactly.
And that is why what you are witnessing is utter chaos,
Chaos.
because they're checking themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so for something like that, there should have been sanctions. He in a Democratic White House, he
Mm-hmm.
would have been forced to resign.
Oh yes. It
There's no
immediately.
way that you can keep your job and leak sensitive, classified, actual military
Right.
targets, strike times. Like,
Times.
you cannot release that type of information and keep your job.
But look, but before we get more into it, how you gonna get mad and go off when you're confronted with your F up? How
That
you gonna
you
get
did
mad?
it. What
Yeah,
you mad at us
what you
for?
mad at everybody else
You
for?
mad because we brought it to the attention of the people?
Because you fucked up. I was trying not to use the F word, but it's just gonna is what it is
I
because it's just so
mean,
ridiculous.
mad. Do you hear me? He got an attitude.
Attitude with his sleeves
I
rolled
told
up.
y'all. I
Mm.
told y'all on day number one that I was not comfortable having a Secretary of Defense who, number one, was not ranked higher in the military,
That right there.
who didn't have enough stripes on his uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and who came to work with his sleeves rolled up. I told y'all that on day one. He made me uncomfortable. He didn't look professional enough for me.
And now
And
y'all see.
I know Rumsfeld used to wear a suit too, but he was a serious man.
Mm-hmm.
This little young boy ain't serious enough.
Mm-mm.
He ain't even old enough
No.
to be nowhere, being nobody's Secretary of Defense.
Mm.
Maybe American people don't know what that means.
They don't. No, I'm convinced that people really don't.
Do you know that that means he is in charge of every branch of military? Child, y'all, too. What the old folks say, we living in the last
We
days.
are. That's what I've come to that conclusion. We are living in the last days, and we are in every single circle of hell.
Because y'all,
Yeah.
I mean, and he just continues to be on that TV with no tie and his sleeves rolled up. I don't know what it is. Maybe because we come from the era where people looked a certain way for their job, where
Yeah.
you dressed a certain way, where you carried yourself a certain way. I mean, they just making everything we say true
Yeah.
because y'all don't look serious. You don't take things serious.
And then the rest of the world, well, they haven't for the past what 8 years taken us seriously. So, but now it's just like I mean, they're really just having the biggest kiki.
Oh,
Like
we're a
they are
joke
complete and
now.
total joke.
Now I heard this, and I haven't seen anybody produce the like paper, which
Mm-hmm.
their countries have more decorum than we do. We take pictures of everything.
Exactly. And
They
text
say that
everything apparently. Mm-hmm.
France was going around putting, like, I don't want to call it a notice,
Mm-hmm.
but putting information on the doors of all their residents and sending information out, letting them know the rations that they will need in case anything happens, in case there's a war.
See.
Like, these are the things you should have, these are the things. And I thought to myself, France, did we do something to y'all? Because
Right.
baby, we making so many people mad, I can't keep up. France,
Yeah.
did we offend y'all in some way? Who y'all going to war with?
Oh,
What's going on?
everybody's pissed. Everybody's pissing on pins and needles. It's just I mean, there's really no words. It's just like, what can you say?
I told y'all in the first term, I didn't feel comfortable with a second grader or with an adult man with a second grade education
Mm,
having the new codes and all. I don't think y'all take life. You know what this reminds me
what's
of?
that?
A Few Good Men,
Oh,
when
girl.
he said, "You rise and fall under the blanket of the freedom I provide." and you question the manner in which I provide it. I don't think you understand. I think Americans take their freedom of like moving about and not being hit by bombs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we take it serious.
No, it's total arrogance.
I don't think because we haven't lived in that era or
Mm-hmm.
it's never like happened on this soil
Mm-hmm.
that since we've been alive, let me say
Right.
that
Right.
because there was a civil war,
Yeah.
I don't think we take it, we know how bad it can get. I
Right.
think we look at what happens in places like Iran, Iraq, Yemen, and we kind of just like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
those people.
Yeah,
Baby, that's
those. Yeah,
that
that's
shit
what
can
it
happen to
is.
us.
Yeah, and it's just like for y'all to
And
be.
with
Go ahead.
kindergartners at the steering
I
wheel,
mean, what do y'all expect's
listen,
going to happen? What do y'all think's going to happen?
it's more likely to happen to
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yep.
Because let's be clear, we don't have full functioning capable adults in charge.
No, no. Uh-uh.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on chumbacasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at chumbacasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's chumbacasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
And that leads us into the jobs report that they are releasing from the White
Oh
House.
boy.
And I posted about this yesterday. And I this is something that I noticed in the first term.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers just seemed hugely inflated. And the first term I thought like, okay, this just seems like there's such job growth is positive. And I'm like, this can't be true. The economy is going this way, but they're getting on there telling people like, oh, the job is so positive, the jobs are this. And I'm like, something ain't right.
Well, the reports come from like what is it? Like a certain
Inside the
quarter.
house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, of course they're going to lie, but then if these numbers are realistic or as close to realistic, they're taking it's still from the Biden administration, and that's what Trump was doing his first term. He was taking some of
Obama's job
Obama's
reports.
job performance. Yeah,
I
because
don't even believe that they're realistic now.
they're
Because let's
probably
think
not.
about
Because
this.
yeah, go
We've
ahead.
had massive
Oh,
layoffs.
lay completely.
Massive layoffs in the federal government,
Mm-hmm.
massive layoffs in the private sector.
Yep.
Think about how many companies have gone bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
How many companies are just closing their doors?
Yep.
How many, and I mean, we're not talking about one or two. Restaurant chains are shutting 20
Mm-hmm.
locations down.
Yeah.
Like companies are being completely wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm trying not to cuss too. They got their ass on the TV and said that the job report was so strong that 220,000. I say, now, wait a
Where?
damn minute. This math ain't mathing.
Mm-mm.
What? I mean, they're blatantly lying.
Completely. Yeah. There's no way.
There's no possible way that that is the truth. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
So all
When I see this, Danielle, are other people asking the questions that we asking?
I think they are. And they're just going to get up there and they're just going to keep lying and keep feeding people that no, this is that. And but what it is that when you put that number out there, that's probably the amount of people that have been laid off just right there. Just, and that's probably just a quarter of it. All these people, like you said, all these businesses that are closing, all these government employees, private sector employees that are getting laid off, businesses are closing, all that stuff. That easily equals at least 220,000, 250,000 people. So are y'all taking the numbers from the layoffs and just like, oh, let's just move this over here and just say
Right.
that's the pot?
Maybe, yeah. I say, do they not know what they don't know what they
They don't
doing
know.
though.
They ain't got look who's in the house.
They don't know what they doing for
Not a
sure.
clue. Not a clue. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous.
And our last piece, my last piece of White House business is, so we all know that when they save, quote unquote, save TikTok, it still was a condition that they wanted them to sell to an American business or to an American business owner.
And here we go.
Now, from the very beginning of this, everybody was like, what were they telling us the reason was? That, oh, well, we need TikTok is dangerous. You know, the Chinese have your information. We don't want them to have this much access to you. And I kept telling, I told y'all, I told my like little circle. I said, now y'all, we ain't heard them saying nothing about this. Now, what TikTok been going on all these years, they never was saying nothing about it being dangerous.
Never.
There was nothing about it being, oh, the Chinese got your information. They didn't give a damn. The only time they started caring is when they opened TikTok Shop. I told y'all, I said, when TikTok Shop opened, that's when they start talking about this. I said, this make me feel like Jeff Bezos got something to do with this.
Sure did.
Now, in the beginning, I just kept saying, man, Bezos is behind this, because this just seemed weird. People start buying stuff off of TikTok, and they was reverting from Amazon over to TikTok, cutting the middleman out, because that's what Amazon is. It's a middleman.
Yeah, that's it.
If you buy on TikTok, you're getting straight from the source. And lo and behold, what did they say on the news 2 days ago?
Guess who's trying to buy TikTok?
I told y'all. I'm telling y'all something. They need to pay me and give me a consultant job, because I
Right.
be paying attention. I know what's coming before it
I
comes.
mean, listen.
They really need to put me on the payroll over there, because I knew this shit sounded fishy. I knew it did. I could tell. People don't be paying no attention.
Right.
I knew Jeff was behind this.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it sounded like Jeff all day.
Yeah.
Don't y'all trust him? And the moment that Jeff Bezos buy TikTok, I will never get my ass on there again.
Never. Same way I did with Twitter. There's no.
I'm doing good to still be on there after Zuckerberg then start putting Facebook ads, which make me believe something is going on.
Oh, something's going on behind the scenes. They're always doing something.
Because see, they wanted access to the people so he can get more people to sign up for Facebook. So now you see all type of Facebook ads.
Yep.
Listen, the moment Bezos get his hand in there, I'm gone.
Yeah, there's no.
It's bad enough you got my information off of Amazon.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay.
It's too much.
Y'all trying to monopolize everything. And I said, see, this is why stuff is so expensive.
Right.
Because we don't really have a free market anymore.
No.
If you think about it, we have one cable company. Like, do y'all have a different cable company in Columbus?
I mean, we got I know y'all got Spectrum. We got Spectrum that I know of. We got Spectrum, AT&T, and I don't know if WOW is still around or not.
That's exactly what I asked somebody. Like, do they still have WOW? I don't think they have WOW anymore. I think it's only Spectrum.
Yeah.
But I don't even count AT&T Direct and DirecTV.
That's
because those are satellite.
Those are satellite, yeah.
Yeah, that's satellite. For actual cable, all we have is Spectrum.
And I'm glad you said that, because people have been trying to get Verizon here for years, their cable here for years, because people say it's better, it's cheaper, and even their internet is better than Spectrum, and they won't bring it here. It's in like almost every other major city, but it will not come to Columbus.
And see, that's what I'm saying. We don't have the option to choose anymore.
Right.
Because everything merges, and then everything is together, and that limits our options, and it raises our prices.
Yep.
Like, they are, and then same go, hell, Zuckerberg, what he done got his hand in Facebook, Instagram, and Threads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason why they came up with Threads is because they knew that
nobody wanted to get on Twitter.
Exactly. Yep. That was it. That was it.
That was their answer for Twitter. Because Twitter ain't nothing but Pornhub.
That's it.
Now, from what I hear.
Yeah. And it's been like that for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it really was just like people was on there for porn.
Yeah, but now it was like people were saying, what was it? It was like an advertisement. It was like people would put their advertisements on there for their OnlyFans, or that they would, just go ahead and flat out put their whole videos on there.
Yes, indeed. And I remember somebody texted me a video from there, and I was like, where did you get this from?
Twitter.
And they was like, oh, this on Twitter. That's all
Mm-hmm.
that's on Twitter now. I'm like, oh my
It's
Lord.
crazy.
What in the world is going on over there?
And remember back in the day, like when Instagram started turning into like a little mini porn
Yep.
hub, and they put an end to that though. I will say that they did put an end to that, but child, now it's just like everything is
Oh
on
yeah,
X.
because that's where they used to have all the eggplant videos
Yeah,
at.
yep, the Eggplant Friday. What
They
was it, Eggplant
sure
Friday or something?
did.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, that was on
Yep,
Instagram.
that was
Girl,
Instagram.
honey, Instagram that got so clean, I forgot all about that.
Right, yeah. It's crazy. It's just like, yeah, it's
Oh,
just,
wow, it
mm-hmm.
was.
Yep.
I just thought about that.
Yeah, it's a
It
mess.
sure was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I feel like, okay, y'all wouldn't do it in that situation. I'm still looking at ass all day.
Right.
It be too many booties on there, like for
Yeah.
real.
So I mean, and the thing is, like, if Instagram can get rid of that and take all that stuff out, then Twitter or X, whatever you want to call, they can do it
Oh,
too.
he
But they're
don't
not
want
going to.
to.
He's
He
not
don't
going
want
to.
to.
No.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No, because that's what's keeping
But
it
that's what
going.
he's catering to. I
Yep.
saw a white girl on a podcast talking about the statistics of OnlyFans,
Mm-hmm.
and she said the most common, like she broke it down, and
Mm-hmm.
what it basically came down to is from the ages of like 35 to 60. I might be too high.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like 45 to like 65, married and white and Christian. Those are the most subscribers and views on OnlyFans. I want to say something to people right now because
Please.
this is going to lead me into talking about Marvin Sapp.
Okay.
I want y'all to know that the Jesus that white people are presenting to you is not the Jesus that black people are presenting to
I
you.
mean,
And I think we have black church need to start speaking up about this.
yeah.
We have been caught up because white people are so vocal, and especially during elections.
Mm-hmm.
White people are very vocal and they make and we've seen people say it. Why did you vote for Trump? What is it about Trump? Well, he's a God-fearing man. You guys, do not put black people in that bubble.
Right.
Do not put the black church in that bubble with those people.
Mm-hmm.
Because evangelical God and
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
missionary Baptist God, them ain't the same
There
gods.
is not the same one.
We are not living. We're now. I don't even know what's going on with their Bible. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I think they got a holy Bible.
I
don't
don't
know
know what's
what
going on in
passages they're
there.
reading.
Yeah.
But the Bible that's being read at the missionary Baptist church, that is the full unadulterated book. All the scriptures. We ain't picking and choosing what we read. And if it cuts you on that Sunday, it just cuts you.
Basically.
I mean, but what they giving to you over there in the evangelical world is flowers and roses.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's happening, but I've been noticing that black people are getting lumped in. And when black people are opposing you know, Christianity, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
when they're opposing Christianity and then they bring you the example, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That ain't us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come giving me no white man's example of what you opposing. No, because baby, that is not what we're standing on. We're
Right.
not reading that. I had somebody inbox me this week of something somebody was saying on the internet and putting the scripture down. And I had to literally go line by line, give them the exact script, like, hey, stop listening to these people and do like my granny say, read it for yourself.
Exactly. Thank
Stop
you.
doing that. Stop doing that. I just think it's time for, black Christians got to start speaking up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we not speaking up enough
No.
about when we see foolishness and because, black people got that love everybody mentality.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have it, but it's okay to call bullshit when you see it.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do both.
Even when it
Now,
comes to Christianity and what
oh,
you believe it
absolutely.
is. Yeah.
I'm going to do both. I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
both. Now.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Now, y'all going to have to get off my man back, okay, a little bit. Now, now this going to be offensive to people who don't go to church. I'm being ready to tell you, it's going to sound crazy as hell. Don't worry about what we doing in there, okay? If you grew up in church, what you heard Marvin Sapp say was normal. And we got to stop misquoting people. That man didn't tell nobody to lock no door. He just said close the door. That's all he said. Now, let me tell you how church go when we taking up offering. And I don't know if y'all ever been to a church, but this is how it go. You got to close the doors and everybody got to be still. That's how we collect offering, y'all. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But guess what? We can't move when we praying either. I don't think y'all know that. When praying is going on, close the doors.
Mm-hmm.
That's why them ushers be guarding them doors like military Marines.
Why you think they march in?
Honey, that is the police in the church, okay? When they praying, you got to be still.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no walking. That's something else. When we collect an offering, I don't care if you only collecting an offering for $100. The money don't really matter to us. If you collecting an offering, be still. Everybody in here be still unless you walking to put your money in the basket. That's just the what and what I've noticed about these people is we don't teach respect and reverence. We don't teach reverence anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In church, you got a reverence and a respect for God, number one, for the pastor, and for the house. Like the house being the church, the place where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't be walking around and moving when we collect an offering.
And listen, some people in the church have gotten so good. I remember even when I was a kid going, so that far back, right before the pastor called for offering, some people would get up and leave like right then. Because they knew it was coming.
That's why we changed the time of the offering.
Yeah.
Because see, offering used to be at the end.
Right.
If you remember, offering used to be after the message was preached.
Mm-hmm.
But now they start moving offering to not the very beginning, but the middle, right before the preaching.
Mm-hmm.
So offering, church started at 11. The preacher get up about 12. You're going to give your offering at like 11:55. Like, it's right there at that sweet spot. Because that is what people was doing.
Yeah.
People was leaving church, which to me is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's like you ain't even stay for the word. You just came for the first 2 choir selections and that's it. And then you going to leave. Like, come on now.
Or you going to listen to the preaching and as soon as somebody asks you for some money, you get out.
Mm-hmm. And people were doing that. So.
And I just want to, y'all, and this, to me, them releasing that video seemed a little divisive because it was old. It's very old.
Now, see, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes. It was like 8 or 9 months old.
See.
So it kind of made me feel like here we are with this great momentum. We got this good movement going. It's being led by a pastor. And to tell the truth, being led by a pastor who has a direct connection to Marvin Sapp. Because Jamal Bryant, Marvin Sapp, Rudolph McKissick, Antonio Matthews, and William Murphy are all best friends.
Mm-hmm.
They run together as a group. So it kind of made me feel like in shining a negative light on the church, y'all trying to shine a negative light on the movement.
But let me say this.
Go ahead.
Because I know that's the crew. I know that.
Yeah.
But in the comments, people were saying that because Marvin Sapp is a Trump supporter and Jamal Bryant and the rest of them have been very vocal about opposing that administration. And I haven't heard anything Marvin Sapp has said since he came out and I don't even know if he voted for Trump or not. We don't know that.
Yeah, I heard people say that and I was like, damn, who?
Well,
no,
there's a video where he said that something about his tax bracket and everything like that. He said, I'm voting for Trump.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I think that one of the reasons people are really like questioning him, and this is people and this is why I was like, huh, because not of what he said about the closing the doors and all that stuff. I get all that.
Mhm.
But like when he was talking about how he's supporting Trump and how he's voting for Trump because of his money and everything like that, I think it was like a buildup of everything, just like him focusing on his money.
I'ma
That's
tell
what I
y'all
took it
this.
at.
I'ma let y'all know a little secret, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I, I love him.
Hmm.
I really don't like to say that out in the public, but I love him. But let me tell y'all this. I think that nigga date white women. I'm just gonna tell you.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't be
Nah,
surprised.
that would not surprise
Not at
me
all.
that he is a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he date white women and I think he date Mexicans.
Yeah.
So, and they is the prime Trump supporters.
Right.
So it don't surprise me because that's why
Because
no.
that's why I think it
His
got
wife was
leaked.
light skinned. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at his wife's parents, they look black.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if she was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if them her birth parents. Now her mom is real light skinned, but her dad is not light skinned. Like
Right.
he's a dark brown or like a
Well,
dark
that's how
skinned
I am. I
man.
mean, my mom is darker than me. She's light skinned, but she's darker than me, and my dad is dark. So, you see how
Right.
white I
So,
am. So,
you
yeah.
kind of just, so she looked white, but
Yeah.
I think I
But he
think
has
she a
a
black girl.
preference. Yeah, he has a preference. Yeah.
But I'ma tell y'all, I think he ain't got no woman yet,
Mm-hmm.
cause I'm almost positive he gonna pop out with a white
I
woman or a
wouldn't be
Mexican.
surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
I think it's taking him a little while, cause he got to get y'all comfortable with the fact that he finna get a white woman. But
Yeah. But I
I
think
could
that's,
see him saying that.
yeah.
And to tell the truth, now that you say that,
Mm-hmm. Because that's just why I think that, because when I
I
was reading the
do
comments,
feel
I
a
think that's why.
divide.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't want to gossip about my people.
I
Now let me
know,
tell
I
you
know. And it
this.
was hard for me too, because I love Marvin Sapp, but I
Now
was just like,
something seemed a little weird.
mm-hmm,
Something seemed a little weird when Jamal married Carrie.
mm-hmm,
And so in the beginning, now this just, me and my church friends talking.
mm-hmm.
In the beginning, we thought that Carrie was Marvin's girlfriend.
Okay.
And I think we only thought that because Jamal was dating Giselle out in the
Right.
open, and
Right.
Carrie was working at that church.
Mm-hmm.
And now we come to learn in Carrie and Jamal's relationship that Jamal had another girlfriend that was on the preaching staff that he was dating in that church too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of thought it was Marvin's girlfriend.
Mm.
And things got, now this is just me on the outside looking in. Things seemed a little weird between everybody
Mm-hmm.
once Jamal got with Carrie.
Right.
And I don't know if it was weird because they liked Giselle or like what the deal was, but I do feel like there was some type of shift in the relationship that Marvin had with Jamal
Mm.
to the point where it seemed to be very obvious,
Right.
where it seemed almost like Marvin was
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I don't want to use the word isolating himself,
Mm-hmm.
but he just seemed to be a little more withdrawn
Right.
from the rest of the group. And now maybe it's because everybody else is, well, no, because McKissick is in Florida, but
Mm-hmm.
Murphy, Jamal, and I think Antonio Matthews is in like Colorado. I think he lives in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seemed like they were something was weird.
Yeah.
Something was weird. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I got to go back and do my research. I think Marvin was at their wedding.
Mm. See, I don't know,
I
but
don't know though.
yeah.
Now I know McKissick and his wife was there. I do think I saw a picture of Marvin. I think I saw a group picture of them.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was it just seemed weird. And they really seemed like, and maybe he was a little sad because he was not getting married.
Yeah, and he probably was thinking he could have been
And
thinking about his wife.
he still calls himself single. Like
Mm-hmm.
he says he doesn't have anybody. So, sometimes I guess when you see that and you're like, when is it going to be my turn? So maybe that
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit of what we were witnessing. But he
Right.
did seem a little,
Little
it
not
seemed a
there.
little not there between
Yeah.
all of them as friends. And to
Gotcha.
tell the truth, to watch Jamal be on the front line and be doing all these things,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Marvin did come to their church and preach, though,
Mm-hmm.
after that. But to watch him be on the front lines, I haven't seen them step up and support him.
Mm.
I've been
Yeah.
seeing his friends come and, come to the forefront and support him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think Marvin is like over this whole thing. He's not taking it seriously. He does not care.
Oh, of
I mean, and
course not.
I'm not saying he doesn't care and like he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying you live in a public limelight. He's not letting this bother him
Right.
because this weekend was like the BMI, which is,
Mm-hmm.
what is it? Something music industry.
Yeah.
Is it BMI, Black Music Industry? What does that mean?
I have no idea, honestly.
So they had the thing where they were honoring John P. Key, a
Yeah.
gospel legend,
Mm-hmm.
and Marvin was there. Everybody was there. Kirk Franklin, everybody who was a name in gospel music. Lisa Page Brooks, all of the gospel artists were there,
Mm-hmm.
and Marvin was there, and he got something with his group. What's that group Fred Hammond Commission?
Yeah.
They were all on the stage, and he made a joke when they gave him the mic. He was like, "All right, everybody, close the doors." He's in that
Yeah.
time he said, "Lock the door." Everybody
Yeah.
locked the door, and so everybody started laughing. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of, again, amongst Christians, this ain't really no big deal. I
Mm-hmm.
think it just gave people who don't go to church another reason to say, see, that's why
Mm-hmm.
we don't be fooling with them Christians. But somebody who was at the service was like, I gave $20. They only asked
Mm-hmm.
people for $20. He
Right.
told the leaders, y'all need to give more, which is something else. It's always been that way, Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Always.
The
I will,
people
yeah.
who in the pulpit, you've always been required to give more than the people who are in the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give more and you in the congregation, do it.
Yeah.
But they only was asked to give $20.
Mm-hmm.
He told them people on the stage, y'all need to give 1,000.
I
I
know
mean,
that's
because
right.
y'all up here with the money.
Right.
And I have heard preachers tell guys who sit up there, it costs to sit this high.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be sitting up here with us, you're going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a true statement.
It is. It is. Yeah, that is. I mean,
See, but we don't
yeah.
tell that part. But
Mm-mm.
again, you have to go to church more to know how we deal inside of church walls. I grew up
Right.
in church.
Right. Me too. Yeah.
So, we know what it looks like
Mm-hmm.
when they get in there collecting offering. It was not as serious to me as people tried to make it
No,
out
that
to
part
be.
wasn't. No, because it was just,
No.
yeah. And then of course, once the memes start going around and everything, like you said, I'm glad you said at the beginning that he said, I mean, and if you saw the video, you heard him say it, close the doors. But of
Yeah,
course
people
that
was like,
turned
"Oh,
into lock the
he told
doors
them to
and
lock the
yeah.
doors, and that's kidnapping." I was like, "Oh
Right.
my
But then
God, y'all."
but the thing is, like I guarantee most people who grew up in the church and got what he was saying were the ones behind those memes like with the ushers and everything. Did you see that dang doll with the usher and the
Listen,
ATM
never would have
machine?
paid it.
Girl, I hollered. I was just like, not the usher. Not right there, because mama's always ready, okay?
Listen, tell the ushers to lock the
Lock
door.
the doors. And you know that they would be right there doing it too if they were told to.
Listen, he said close them doors.
Yeah.
I thought you did, especially if you was collecting a serious offering.
Mm-hmm.
You always
Always shut the
like
doors.
if it
Because
was
you're not
serious.
leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, here's the thing, too. It's like if you attend church, you are expected to give. Because, yeah,
Yeah.
but if you can't, it's not like you're frowned upon because everyone who goes to church
No.
don't have the money. And that's what I think a
No.
lot of people, too, don't understand is that
Hmm.
if you don't have the money, then you're not expected to give. Like if you don't. People
No.
in the church, they're your family. They know your situation.
And
So,
we know who has the hardship. Like
exactly.
it's not a secret to who is going through hard times
Mm-hmm.
because the stuff that they don't tell is when you go to church and you are known like you have hard times,
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna buy your kids clothes. People are gonna
Exactly.
buy your kids dresses. You know
Food,
how many times
everything.
my
Yeah.
grandmother done picked up little dresses and pants and stuff
Mm-hmm.
for people who didn't have.
Oh yeah, my grandma
And
used to do that. Yep.
I went to a
Mm-hmm.
church where we fed the homeless.
Yeah.
My pastor used to be in prison.
Right.
He went to prison and he used to be a pimp. Like he was very gracious to the homeless.
Right.
So he would let the homeless come in and they could sleep on them. We didn't have like beds, but he
Mm-hmm.
would let them get on them pews and sleep.
I know that's right.
We had like an overflow. They could
Mm-hmm.
sleep on the overflow. They would be sleep over in the corner like of the church, sleep on the
Mm-hmm.
floor. We had clothes all in the basement where
Mm-hmm.
we would give people clothes, where he would fix food for the homeless. Like,
Yep.
man, please. So I come from a giving church.
Mm-hmm.
I was around people who gave. So y'all being so weird. Why y'all so stingy?
Because
That
everybody's
is
for
my real
themselves.
question.
That's what it is. It's just like nowadays, everybody is just selfish and for themselves. And I hate to say everybody. I'm speaking, in what do you call it, general or whatever. Not speaking in general. I'm just saying, it's just like people are just so selfish and into themselves, and that's why we're in the positions that we're in now. I mean, let's just keep
And
it
why do
real.
y'all think all that money? Y'all really that dense that you think every dollar you put in that basket go in that man's pocket?
Right. How do you
How
think?
y'all think the lights on in there?
Right. Right.
How you think it's warm when the heat on when you come in there?
Mm-hmm.
Where you think they getting that money from? That's the
Right.
money you putting in the basket.
Right, you know how big and I'm not talking about a mega church. I'm talking about these old churches that we grew up in. You know how you got to
Exactly.
keep them. You got to keep that HVAC system going. If not, y'all gonna be in there
Listen,
passing out for
the
real.
roof.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think all of that stuff is getting done? That's
Mm-hmm.
the money that's going in the basket.
Yep.
We used to have what we call a love offering.
Yeah.
That's the money that the pastor used to get.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the stuff that you was putting in for tithes and offerings. That
Right.
went to the
That
church,
goes to the church. Yeah.
to the actual physical building.
Right. Now, if you grew up in a church where you didn't trust your pastor and you wasn't sure if that was, what was happening, then that's a problem that you had to, dish out with
Yeah.
yeah. So that's something different. But, if you believed in your pastor and you knew that, they were doing the right thing, then, or if you felt that you were doing the right thing, then you shouldn't have any issue with hearing about stuff like that because you
No.
were raised to believe this is what is going on, this is what's happening. So, yeah.
And I'm saying that from going to small churches,
Mm-hmm.
from going to bigger churches,
Mm-hmm.
medium-sized church. Church is it's ran to be operated for. Number one, you got to keep the building up.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to pay most larger churches only pay their pastors, let's be truthful, so they can have their undivided attention.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They ain't paying them because they want them to live no lavish lifestyle.
Right.
They're paying them so when you call them, they're available.
Mm-hmm. Because do you know how many
'Cause that's
pastors
their
have
job.
regular jobs too? Because they're not.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Because they don't have the money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, y'all, come on.
Right.
The stuff my grandmother used to do for our pastor, they would cook him meals, cook him food,
Mm-hmm.
take stuff. So guess what that did to me? When I got older, and I would call over there. Are
Mm-hmm.
y'all okay? Y'all need something? I'm in y'all's neighborhood. Do y'all want anything?
Right.
Oh, Keisha, can you pick us up this at the store?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll go get it. Here I come. Like, we don't we're not raised in a sense of community anymore.
No.
And y'all so untrustworthy, your pastor probably don't want to take a damn thing from
Right.
you. Because
Exactly.
y'all screenshot everything.
Yeah.
You take a picture of everything. You tell every goddamn thing.
Going to
You
accuse
can't
him of
even
something.
trust y'all.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. It really is sad.
We have just ruined.
Yeah.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Child,
Child,
listen.
the pits of hell, right where we live.
Right. Whew. Okay, so let's do some pop culture real quick. Marvin Sapp, I guess you could say, was pop culture,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about Don Robinson real quick
What
because
happened now?
okay, we
The one
talked.
that's living in her car?
Yeah, so we talked about her, a couple weeks ago coming out
Uh-huh.
after Maxine, was seen rejoining Terry, Cindy, who of course are the other two original members of En Vogue, and Rona Bennett, who has been with the group for 13 years.
I thought
Remember that?
Maxine was dead. I always think that,
Yeah, I
but go.
remember you said that.
Dang, that blow my mind every time. Okay.
So Dawn Robinson, she, did a video and said that, she had been living in her car and all this other stuff, and she's just tired of the
By
music business.
choice.
By
But go
choice,
on.
that's what she said. Yeah. So we're going to stick with that. We're going to believe her that that's what she's doing. So she went on to Angela Yee's show.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, last week. I think it was last week. Because I just saw this interview last week. So she was on there, and of course, she was asked how she felt about Maxine rejoining the group, and has she been asked to rejoin the group and everything. And she said, no, not recently. She hasn't been asked to rejoin the group, and she was just, how do I put this? She was trying to make it make
Just say
sense.
it.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
say
She
it.
was trying to make it make sense. Like why they're not asking her to rejoin the group, but she's making it seem like it's her decision. But after everything that she said in this interview, she basically contradicted herself. So I'm just going to give a quick recap of the
Okay.
interview. So first she went on by throwing shade at Rona Bennett. And of course she's like, oh, I love Rona. She's never done anything nefarious to me, and she's never been, rude to me or anything like that. But she's not one of the original girls, and Rona doesn't bring hits. So she said that she doesn't really talk to Terry. But she said that she talks to Cindy. Cindy's like the mediator. So, she just says, Cindy, was like, well, I get it, but Dawn doesn't want to split money 5 ways. If she this is not recently because they're not talking to Dawn right now. So when they had a conversation probably a few years ago, this is even before Maxine rejoined, and I don't even know if she's back permanently with the group, but before she came back, we'll just say that. So basically said that her and Cindy were talking, and Dawn was like, well, I don't want to split the money 4 ways. We just even though she did that before, but she's just like, I don't believe Rona should be in the group if I come back. And Cindy was like, well, Rona's been with the group 13 years. You were only with the group for 8. So I think that kind of struck Dawn a little. That kind of hurt her ego a little bit.
I'm always devil's advocate in
Right.
situations like this.
Right.
Now, I want to say they both have valid points, okay?
Yeah, totally.
Rona Bennett's name is hilarious, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip past that.
Right.
Rona has been with the group for 13 years.
Mhm.
Yes, it is longer than Don's 8 years,
Mhm.
but
Mhm. I know where you're
Rona
going with your
ain't
butt.
got no hits.
And that's what Dawn said.
Don sings on every hit y'all got.
Yes, and that's exactly what Dawn said. Dawn said,
Rona
okay.
ain't doing nothing but singing Don's parts.
Right. So
If
that's
we just being honest
right. So that's where I kind of got back on Dawn's side because I was like, okay. I was like, okay, yeah, because Dawn said, okay, Rona's been with the group for longer than me, but Rona hasn't brought you hits. She said, I sang on 2 of the group's biggest hits, not just 2.
All of them.
Well, she's talking about giving him something he can feel, and what's it going to be? Or what's that song called? You know what I'm talking about from Set It Off soundtrack.
Yeah,
those are their 2 big, yeah. Even though she
Mhm.
sang on more, those are their 2 biggest hits. So she's just like, look, I gave y'all hits after hits. So it's like, and
Any hits you've
understandable.
had, and I feel like, of course, Rona would get out the group. Rona is here to take Don's place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say this: she could be a fill-in, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 5 people should be on the stage.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that. But this is before Maxine rejoined because since then they haven't even talked to Dawn. So, and that's what I think Dawn was trying to make it seem like she still has a say so, but she doesn't. These are old conversations, but she was making it seem like they were current. So because when they
I
asked,
think we have to consider why Don got out the group. And I now remember we talked about this,
right.
and her reason, now from what we thought, what we understood, is that she was trying to fight for the group, but that always be the one y'all kick. Like that's always the one that get kicked down. She was trying to fight for the group to have, more control, to get more money, and she thought that everybody was on the same page
until they got in that room.
Until they got in that room.
Right.
And they went left and Dawn went right.
Right.
And she was blindsided.
So,
So,
I get that.
kind of, is, I wouldn't want to be in a group with them no more personally, but whatever.
Right. But from what I took from the interview, Dawn has been trying to come back, but when they tried to negotiate with her, she just wasn't hearing it. So it's like, to me, it's like either her way or no way.
Probably so.
And then I started thinking, and I wrote down all this stuff. I said, so Dawn's making it seem like the girls were the issue, but let's look at this. In Vogue, Lucy Pearl, Funky Divas, which was the group that Maxine and Dawn put together with two other girls or one other girl trying to compete with In Vogue because they weren't able to use the In Vogue. Because first they were trying to use In Vogue, but Terry and Cindy had rights to that name because of their contracts. So
Terry and Cindy said, you got us fucked up.
Basically. So, because remember at one point, because I remember, I think when not long after the casino opened here, maybe a year or two after it opened, I remember going to see In Vogue, but they just said In Vogue was coming. And at the time, there were two In Vogue groups. So I was like, okay, which one am I seeing? Which it didn't matter to me because I was here for either group. But I was like, but it was Cindy, Terry, and Rona. So that's who came to the casino. But anyway, so so In Vogue, Lucy Pearl, Funky Divas, her solo career, R&B Divas, your parents. So let's just say your marriages. So let's just say if you are really that girl, then you wouldn't have all these.
You're the common denominator. You're the common denominator in all these problems.
She will not. I mean, she basically called the girl stupid. She basically was saying that, like, they're dumb.
I feel like she probably does feel that.
She does.
And
no, she really does.
If you're holding on to old emotions, you have a right to feel that way because y'all had an opportunity to stick together as a group.
Yeah.
And back then,
I will never take that from her.
And guess what? After they made that deal, they were never successful after that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I will say
now
this.
Let's think about that.
They're making more money now, which is sad because they haven't had any hits. They put out a single here and there just on streaming services, of course, but they're touring like nonstop, which they really shouldn't have to do at this age.
But you're singing old songs.
Yeah, they're singing old songs. But
so that makes Dawn's point still strong.
Oh, yeah, and that's where I was kind of like, okay, Dawn, I see you, but... So go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I agree with you. Like, it makes Dawn's point strong, but let's be clear. Y'all sniped her out on that deal, and you ain't had a hit since then.
Yeah. I mean, because
In Vogue has not been popular since Dawn has not been on the cover of those albums. Since they have been a trio, they have not had a hit, Danielle.
Yeah, because what was that?
Think
EV3?
about that.
Yeah, EV3 when that first album came out when Dawn left.
We only know one group to do it.
Yeah.
Who?
Hold on.
Destiny's
Child. Yep.
Destiny's Child has been the only group that we can remember in our era that has gone from a quint, is it quint or is it quantuplet? What is it?
Quad.
A quad.
Yeah, there you
to
go.
A
We'll
trio.
just say that. Yeah.
And been able to be successful after the quad. Because we ain't just talking about stay a group.
Right.
Anybody can stay in a damn
because
group.
you can rearrange people. Look at there have been a lot of groups that have done that.
Hits?
Yeah, and they haven't. So I definitely
have not had a. You ain't even had a song probably break through the top 500.
Oh no, because you wouldn't even know, like, unless you follow In Vogue, like on social media or something, you wouldn't know what they were doing. And that's fine, because
and
I mean they're still out here touring,
said,
but
when they show up to the casino, what they singing? What's it gonna
be? Yeah.
You're singing them old songs.
Right. And and the tea is like, I mean, when Rona joined, she fit in like a glove. She wasn't Dawn, she wasn't Maxine, But, because nothing's going to replace. And she brought that up too. She said the reason why in 2009 that she rejoined the group was, she said it's actually a year or two before that. I think it was a year before their 20th anniversary in 2009 when they rejoined the group and they were going to redo the contract and they were all going to come back together and do an album and all that stuff. She said that when Alicia Keys asked them to do the BET tribute to the girl groups, she said Alicia Keys wanted the original four. She said she didn't want any replacement. She said they could not do it unless they were the original four. So she said, why can't that be done now? So I think that's her argument, as to why they can't go forward as the original four. But they're not trying to deal with Dawn's shenanigans. That's why they haven't reached out to her.
And pride come before destruction. Because Terry and what's your name? Cindy, y'all sitting over there, and deep down in the pit of your soul, you know that girl right.
Oh, she's right.
You
totally.
know that girl right.
Yeah, but they just don't want to deal with her.
And you so full of pride that you don't want to try.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? What the Bible tell you? Pride come before destruction.
And
that's why y'all ain't got no hits. I mean, you got to make a decision. Now, we can't say that she the common denominator.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, I would say she got to be, but Lucy Pearl, what happened with her and Lucy Pearl?
Well, I guess it was a contract thing, and they said that Dawn was being confrontational and all this other stuff, so they replaced her with somebody, but it just didn't work out. It was another popular singer
to this year, 2025.
Yeah, right.
Now, knowing all the shit that we know, what do we know in 2025? That when Black women stand up for themselves, they call you fucking confrontational.
Oh, of course.
So when the 90s and the early 2000s, she been labeled confrontational, and we accepted that.
Yeah.
But in 2025, what it sound like to me is y'all been trying to play in that girl face, and she be telling y'all, fuck y'all. Now that's what it sound like. Because for two different people to say she confrontational when it comes to contract disputes,
right,
that means she told y'all pay me, and y'all said we don't want to pay you what you worth.
Right. And obviously she's not just like that on the business sense in her career. She's obviously like that in her personal life too, because she don't have
How
a
many times
family.
she been married?
I think twice. I know she was married to that one guy in the music business, and then she was, I don't know if she, that white guy that looked like he was a drunk or something. I hate to say that, I hate to stereotype that, but that was the look he had, and they were living in that trailer when she was on R&B Divas. I remember that because I was like, oh, that's
well, she
with.
Seemed like she would be married to a white man, though.
Yeah, I could totally see that. But it was funny because the way Dawn talks, Dawn kind of has that Valley girl, but she was mocking Cindy because Cindy has that too. And it was funny because she sounded just like Cindy. Now I cracked up on that part because she sounded just like her, but so it's just like,
so I think people are trying to make because we know, we've seen that. Maya talks about it.
Oh yeah.
Other artists have talked about it. When you don't do what they want you to do, they label you as confrontational, and then there's your career.
There's your career.
Because after they do that, people don't want to work with you anymore.
Then you wonder
when truthfully that's not what it is.
Right, because then you wonder where these ladies have gone, who had this talent, who had these hits and everything like that. It's like they all couldn't have just fallen off. No, it's because
who had powerful voices.
Yeah. Yep.
Girl, you gonna make me listen to En Vogue today.
Listen,
I tell you what, this music and that music industry is something else.
It's brutal. It's really brutal. It's brutal. Yeah.
And see, again, I'm glad that we are in 2025 because we didn't know what y'all was doing back in the 90s and the 2000s.
Right.
And that's what y'all was doing to women. Y'all was labeling women difficult. But see, there were some women who you was labeling difficult, baby, and you couldn't kill them.
Yeah.
Mariah.
Yeah.
Aretha. The real powerhouses. So then y'all just call them divas.
Yeah, divas. That was a cute way. That was a
cute way of saying bitch.
Yeah, that's just like sassy is a cute way of saying ghetto.
Yeah, like that was a cute way of calling a woman a bitch without
basically
saying it.
Yeah. And
so everybody was a diva.
But the thing is, they wore it. They were like, okay, I'll do that, and then
they didn't care.
That's why you got the extraness that was Aretha Franklin. That's
Shaka,
why she had okay.
Whitney.
Okay. Because they were like, okay, you gonna label me that? Okay, let's go. Let me show you what a diva does. Okay,
and that made me think about Whitney said, I like to listen to singers. I rarely listen to people who can't sing.
But then why she had to enunciate it though?
Because you was getting on her nerve. And then she said the girl is singing off key on the damn track. I said, ooh,
Listen,
ooh,
damn, I miss Whitney. Because could you imagine her at
baby.
this age? She would have been what, 63?
Oh my
Something like
God,
that. She would have been in her
Whitney.
60s. And just
Whitney is one of the people that you wake up and say, oh, she ain't got no business being dead. Lord, what is happening to us?
listen. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It hasn't
Whitney.
been the same. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh,
Mm.
child. So, okay,
But
last
Dawn, yeah,
Dawn,
I don't
yeah.
know. I think
She has some
I'm on Dawn's
points.
side for real.
Oh,
Cause
me
you
too. And I
know,
hate to say it, me too. It's like after she was making her point, it's like I get why they're not
yes.
dealing with her no
I like
more.
to be with the
But
facts. Like
yeah,
I like who got the hardcore facts.
right. So it's like
And
when you break
Dawn
it
is
down,
standing. Listen, when you break it down,
mm-hmm,
y'all don't have one hit with that girl, and she
right.
ain't doing nothing up there but singing Dawn's parts.
That no, she ain't even doing that half the time. That's Cindy. Cindy and Terry basically sing Dawn's part.
So who's she part? She's singing Maxine's.
Yeah, I mean I think she sings
Well,
lead.
y'all had to get her to replace somebody. So who did she replace?
Right. I mean, she technically replaced Dawn, I guess you could say, but she's not singing all of. Now she sings some leads, and she could sing her ass off, but she's not singing all
Like
of
when they
Dawn's
did the
hits.
Beyonce redo, this me, oh Lord Jesus. When they did the Destiny Child redo,
Uh huh.
did they say they found people? You gonna replace
Mm-hmm.
Latoya?
Yep.
You gonna replace
Latavia.
Latavia? And they
Mm-hmm.
picked people who were similar in look.
Right.
So who did Rona Bennett replace?
I have no idea because before Rona, and I forgot about this because when EV3 came out, it was Maxine, Terry, and Cindy. Now, then I think Maxine left because she was having
She was sick,
she
right?
was sick, but she was pregnant. She was pregnant. And then I think like she had some complications or something, so that's why she ended up leaving the group.
Mm-hmm.
And so they replaced her with another girl. And she kind of had the look like Dawn. She kind of had more of that look, you
Uh-huh.
know. But she ended up, I guess she didn't stay with the group long, and then that's when Rona came in because Maxine didn't come back. So, yeah. It's just been a mess. It's just a mess. I mean, y'all just keep doing your thing. I just hope, because
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to chumbacasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa Welcome Bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I really want Dawn to
Be solo.
Yeah, but the thing is, that hasn't worked either for her because she tried she tried backup singing. Nothing has worked for her.
Well, once, and to tell the truth, once you've been labeled as difficult,
Mm-hmm.
they've really ruined your career.
Yeah, and her
Like nothing is ever going to work for you,
right.
Because you have that label on you.
Yeah, and that's what her ex-husband was saying, and I guess he's in the music business, and he said that even though he knows how she is, he would be willing to work with her and help her get back in the business. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know if she's taken him up on that offer. I don't know if she's seen it. I'm sure it's gotten around to her if we all seen it.
Right.
But yeah, she didn't mention anything about that in the interview, about her getting back in the business or anything like that. She didn't mention that. So, but she needs to. She really needs to. And
She has
I
such
don't
a beautiful
know.
voice.
Oh my gosh.
And Vogue
yes.
was just such a talent.
Let's talk about it just for a quick second because you rarely had a group, and this isn't just a girl group. This is any group where all four singers could sing lead. And
Yes.
not only that, could they sing lead, but their voices meshed together so
It was the
well.
harmony.
It was the harmony.
You didn't get that. You didn't get that harmony from groups like that.
Mm-mm.
Maybe the Jackson 5.
Mm-hmm. And they were family.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, they was family. so they've been
yeah.
practicing their whole lives
Exactly. And that was the thing. It was like maybe Destiny's Child could give
together.
it to
no,
you.
SWV.
SWV. Yes.
SWV
Yeah, there
definitely
you
had
go.
the
How did I
harmony.
forget about
Because
them?
I think Escape did it on Tonight.
Mm-hmm. Where you could really see
they
that they
had a
had
great
it.
like
Yeah.
harmony. That's when you could hear it. But I
Mm-hmm.
think SWV, because they sung, they wanted you to know they could sing because they
Yeah.
would sing a cappella at places. A
Yeah.
cappella,
Oh,
excuse
in
me.
a second. Come on,
In a hot
acapello.
second. And
Yeah.
so would In Vogue though.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all come from an auto-tunes generation nowadays.
Yeah. Come on now.
We came from flat-foot singers.
Yeah.
And we're also going to stand by this now that we talked about the church today.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can't sing because y'all ain't saved. Y'all don't go to church enough. The church is who put those singers out into the
I
world
mean,
like
let's
that.
just for real,
Whitney
seriously.
Houston, Aretha Franklin daddy was a pastor.
Yes.
Whitney Houston and Sissy was at church every Sunday.
Listen.
You see, the problem is y'all don't have enough Jesus in your throat before you step out there and sing that R&B. And the church ain't training y'all no more. Y'all just want to go to the studio and drop tracks.
Right.
And your voice ain't anointed. Fantasia, voice is anointed.
Baby.
KC and JoJo and Jodeci.
Mm-hmm.
KC was KC and the Haley boys, whatever they was
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
He was in a quartet when he was about 9.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling y'all, if you want to know why the singing sound different, because y'all, it's full of hell. Ain't no Jesus in there.
But not Jesus in the throat, though. Come on now.
Jesus is not in your throat. He's not living in you. And this is why y'all can't sing. Y'all don't even listen to enough gospel music. Let's just talk about that. I ain't going to say y'all got to go to church.
What?
But if you stop any of these R&B singers, they going to tell you who they listening to. And guess who they listening to? And y'all ain't about to like this one. Because guess who name they always say?
Kim Burrell.
Come on now. Y'all don't know God. That's why y'all can't sing.
Listen, as much as
You're
I can't
not
stand Kim
learning at the
Burrell,
feet of greatness.
yeah, listen, as much as I can't stand her, I'll listen to her in a second.
Honey,
Listen,
tell them the
because
truth. Tell 'em.
Kim Burrell will sing your freaking face off. How do you think that her and Whitney were neck and neck pretty much?
Listen.
So, and they knew it.
Y'all ain't
They
got no Jesus. Ain't got no
Right.
Jesus. I'm telling y'all, that's where the music industry is going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's where everything is messing up and the singing is thrown off. That's why y'all can't harmonize.
Right.
That's why y'all don't want to be in no groups with no people.
Oh, listen. That right there, that's where it all started when people didn't want to, when, people started getting in their ears and be like, oh,
you
you
ain't
can go
work
solo.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We had to work together. We had to sing in a choir together.
Right.
We had to practice together.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all don't know no togetherness.
And that goes
I'm
in
telling
life
you,
too.
y'all don't know Jesus. That's why if y'all notice when Kim Burrell did all that crazy shit
Mm-hmm.
that y'all thought was crazy, we didn't say a word because we already knew. we that's what I'm telling y'all. Church life is just different than outside life.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want us bothering y'all, and don't bother us. Like, don't bother us. We live in a different life over here. The Bible tells us to come out and be separated amongst from y'all. We try to be nice and love on y'all, but listen, leave us be. Kim wasn't bothered. Guess why we wasn't alarmed by it? Because, and I tell people this, and even when we just said Marvin Sapp talking about he voted Republican, and I had a real strong conversation with some of my friends. I'm not voting Republican, not in this day and age.
Right.
I have in the past, but not up around these parts because they racist. They're blatantly racist nowadays.
Yeah.
It's different now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, most Christian beliefs line up with Republican views.
Mm-hmm.
The part where Donald Trump is messing up is he's racist.
Yeah.
If he was less racist and the people he kept around him were less racist, he could get more votes.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to think that Marvin Sapp would vote for Donald Trump in this. I would hate to believe that he did. I hope he did.
I can see him doing that. I hate to say it. I can see it.
I mean, I hope everything is not about money. At some point, your dignity and your pride and your respect have to come into play.
But why would you say that? Especially while you're preaching too. That's the thing.
Oh, child.
That's the thing that just takes me back to him. It's just like, I mean, keep those beliefs to yourself unless that's truly what you believe. And obviously, if he said it while he's up there preaching in the pulpit, then I don't know. But
now, what was the last point you had, honey? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So let's just go ahead and talk about. You sent me something and it was how the enrollment is down in college for black men. So let's end on that because let's end on some
yeah. It's not shocking.
No, and I hate to say it, it's not.
It's not shocking because for two reasons to me. I had this conversation with my niece, and she's 10 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, look at what y'all watch on TV, number one.
Right.
I said, when I was growing up, everybody had I said only 2 families off the top of my head didn't have a college education.
Mm-hmm.
Florence and James Evans. And they lived in the projects.
Right.
And Mary, and what was her husband's name?
Lester.
Was Lester. Mary and Lester.
Mm-hmm.
But Lester had a good job. He was a mailman.
Right.
I said, them the only 2 families that I can remember that were black that did not have, and I would say Carl and Harriet, but I bet Harriet had an education.
She looked like she did. Oh,
I bet
the
Harriet
Jeffersons,
went to school.
Neither one of them had an education.
Okay, so then I was thinking Wheezy and George.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, are we 100% sure? But probably so, because George was in a business. He was an entrepreneur, though.
Right.
But all the other people on TV, I said the Cosbys each had a degree, and they kids had degrees.
Yep.
They parents went to college.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I said, same go for A Different World. It was a show about college. Living Single. All of them went to college.
Yep, and were professionals as well.
They were all black professionals. Even Martin and Gina and Pam.
Yep.
I said there was nobody on TV when I was growing up that was black that didn't go to college. On top of they promoted college in the clothes that they wore.
Listen.
I said, so that's one reason. I said, and number 2, if you look at this here internet, it's nothing but black people on here telling black boys and other black women that college is a waste of time.
Yep.
You're encouraging them into being entrepreneurs. They don't have any skills.
Right.
At least go to school and get a business degree. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the sad thing about the entrepreneurship, a lot of people think that they can just do that because they see people on social media getting big and they think they can do that. Because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, well, this is my job, but you don't have the following, you're not making the money, but you're relying, it's crazy, but go ahead.
Like, we're doing young people a disservice. Somebody who we went to school with made a video, and I could tell she was like, she was a little bit bothered by it, but she made a video on TikTok and said that her college student child told her that he wants to be a full-time content creator.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
And I could tell she was just kind of like, what? Like, and mind you, she said here is a child that got straight A's. I mean, all through school. We're talking elementary school, middle school, high school, a straight A student does 1 semester in college and kind of gets okay grades, and now you want to be a content creator.
Right.
You guys have got to stop convincing these young people that that is a way of life. It is only a way of life for some people.
Right.
And a lot of content creators had regular 9-to-5 jobs before they followed their dreams.
Right.
SBF, what's her name? Zykia. Zykia was a full-time school teacher. She had a health condition, like an actual brain health condition, that sidelined her from work. And then she started her vision. What she visualized, she went into it, and that was her passion. But guess what? She had free time from work.
Right.
Because she was off on medical leave. But she had an actual job.
Right.
Where she made money. She had 2 children to take care of. Like,
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on chumbacasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
They live in this bubble. And now we've created a whole generation of men
Mm-hmm.
who are not going to be able to provide.
Right.
And we need Black men in things like teaching.
Mm-hmm.
We need Black men to be accountants because boys are exceptionally good with numbers.
Right.
You know, the data shows that men are great in math. We need boys to be accountants, lawyers. We need boys to be doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just so... listen, if you feel that way, keep it to yourself.
Right.
I wish we could keep shit like that off the internet.
Yes.
I really do. You know, keep that shit from kids because we need kids to give them an opportunity. Because oftentimes we run into kids who just don't believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when they don't believe in themselves, they run to what they think is easy.
Yeah, I was going to say the easiest thing. Yep.
Girl, it was so sickening when I heard that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, because when you
I think they just released it in like some statistics this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when you sent that to me, I was just like, the first thing I thought of was like, I'm not surprised.
Not
And then I started
surprised.
thinking about all that stuff, like people wanting to be content creators. And I even saw some people say that, you know, their sons and even their daughters, you know, that, what is it, that NIAA or whatever it is, like for college, like where they can start signing contracts and getting, you know, all the endorsements and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They said some students, and that's the thing too, everybody's not going to be a college star.
Yeah.
You know, just like everybody's not going to be a professional athlete, everybody's not going
Yep.
to be a college athlete, and you're not going to be one
Uh-huh.
of the stars. But
Mhm.
some students are just focusing on sports so bad, and well, you know, so much that they're willing just to go to college, try to get these endorsements now because they're
Uh-huh.
able to get them, and think that's going to
Uh-huh.
set them up for life. No,
Yeah.
that's not guaranteed either. Just like becoming a professional athlete isn't guaranteed.
And that's why I believe you should keep your butt in college.
Mm-hmm.
Get you that 4-year degree. Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you see that your numbers is not great, but you good enough to be... That's why Ohio State has players on the team who got a master's degree.
Yeah.
Because why not stay here? If they gonna keep
Mhm.
me on the team and I'm good enough to keep my position,
Yep.
I'm gonna keep going to school till I gotta stop.
Exactly. Yep.
Pay for my whole education.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Girl, we have just made education like a faux pas. Like,
Mhm.
who wants to go to school?
Right. And I heard
Right.
that it's been rumors for years, but I heard that they're supposedly doing a sequel to A Different World.
Oh yeah, I just saw that this week
Yeah.
that it's supposed to come on Netflix. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
So hopefully something like that will start a trend because they did try with, you know, bringing back and putting more focus on HBCUs and stuff like that, you know, with, you know, they brought back clothing and, you know, things like that. So they are putting it out there. More younger students are getting familiar with HBCUs, and hopefully more now that y'all see that they're cutting programs at PWIs. So, you know, so hopefully that'll encourage some enrollment, but until it's focused on at home and in the schools, then it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Girl, it's just disappointing.
It is. It's sad. It's really
It's
sad.
just so disappointing. Like, my
Yeah.
God, y'all.
Yeah, like come
We
on
gotta,
now.
we like, it's like, just like I saw a guy talking about how they've been doing those boots on the ground dances.
Mhm.
He said, y'all gotta stop having these little girls, these little bitty girls in there doing that boots on the ground, popping their leg. He said, because y'all gotta let these children just be children. He
Yeah.
said, because it ain't none but grown men on there looking at them. He said, but when I say something about it or somebody who got some sense tell y'all, y'all get defensive. He said, but y'all gotta pay attention to who's around y'all. All these predators out here, and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Kids don't even dress like little kids no more. And we talking about toddlers.
Yeah. You should
2-year-olds is dressed like grown people.
Yeah, I mean, you should see when I go in the kids section, and I'm talking about the girls section because they still got boys dressing like little boys, of course. But when I go into the girls section and I have a toddler and a 9-year-old.
Hmm.
And when I go and shop in those sections, I'm like, where am I? Am I in the juniors?
Listen,
I'm just like, I'm not trying to have my baby show tummies and, everything. No, no, no.
honey, and that's why you gotta dress them out of the Gap, cause
Listen, you do.
you gotta just go to the Gap. You gotta go to
Mm-hmm.
places like Ralph Lauren.
Yep.
Go on and go to Ross and find them little 2-piece dresses,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
because it's sick.
Yeah. I'm just like, really? I'm like, where am I? Like, come on now.
It is sickening.
Yeah, and that is so true. I just, was trying to look for some spring and summer clothes for him a couple weeks ago, and I was in there just so disappointed. I picked up stuff from my nephew real quick because they're just real simple, and
Yeah.
like I said, they still got them dressing like little boys. Now I'm just like, really, like no,
Girl, it's disappointing. It really
yeah,
is.
it is.
And it's scary because
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that we see about predators, pedophiles, and everything else, and how they looking at your kids. Look, I've told you this for years, and I will say it here openly. Y'all parents, and I'm talking about you parents, that you 19 or you 20-year-olds, even men be doing it. Y'all disgusting because
Mm-hmm.
y'all will take the nastiest, sexiest picture your kid got and post it and tell
Yeah.
your kid happy birthday. That is gross.
Yeah, I'm just like,
If
really?
nobody told y'all, it's horrible because half the guys on your timeline are pedophiles.
Mm-hmm. And just waiting.
They are registered sex offenders.
Mm-hmm. Because y'all just be accepting anybody nowadays.
And
So.
y'all just be cool with
Mm-hmm.
posting your daughters.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible,
It
man.
is. It's really sad. It is. I'm just like,
And I just feel so sad for the little girls that had to grow up in them families. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the picture you post of your daughter, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
That's it. Ooh.
My daddy would never.
Listen.
He would punch somebody first.
He be in jail. He be in jail.
Y'all are gross.
Yeah, I'm just like,
and my daddy got
really?
about $7. I think I got.
Okay.
Ain't it 7 of us? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Jenny, Micah, to here, it's 8 of us.
See? Ain't no way.
He would never. Oh my God. And I'm not saying like, yeah, I know y'all's kids 19, they 20 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
still, come on now.
even
Those are
if
still
they
your
have those
babies.
pictures on their page,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whatever. But you don't have to post that one. And if that's the only picture she has,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Don't post nothing. Just say happy birthday.
Right.
But y'all be so quick to, oh, I want y'all to see shit. My daughter, she bad. You're nasty too.
Yeah, like really? Like you
You're
looking at her
nasty
like
too,
that?
because those are your
Okay.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Help, Lord, help me. Get
Girl.
me out of this icky world. No, don't
Listen.
take me.
Yeah, don't take me, but
I don't
just
wanna die.
just stay.
You
We're
know.
just gonna stay in our bubbles. That's it. 'Cause
Just
that's what I've been doing.
please. It's gross out
Yeah,
there.
it is. It's ghetto.
Smells like people.
I'm using that. I'm using that. Yes. Oh, it smells like people out here.
Smells like people.
I'm gonna say that when I walk into work one day. I'm gonna say, "Oh, it smells like people in here." Oh,
help, Lord,
not
help.
used to this. Oh.
Oh, child. Here
So
we go.
anyway.
Well, as usual, guys, you can reach us at girl_you-know-what, at Danny B Speaks, and at Wellness in Women. Until next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.